Was goody, was goody, was goody, y'all. This is Debbie Cakes coming at you live and in color, as you can see. Shirt of the day, as promised. Nightmare on Elm Street. Look at the back. Awesome, isn't it? Well, going back to what I was saying yesterday, where I left off was Freddy's Dead. Honestly, that's the trashiest movie that they could have made from the franchise, but it felt like it was revamped with the new Nightmare. Um, and when Heather Langenkamp came back, as she played two roles, herself and as Nancy, because she had to reprise that role in order to recreate Wes Craven's new script, new Nightmare. So he just wanted to just thank her to play for playing it one last time. And if you haven't seen that one, I suggest you check it out. A lot of people don't talk about it, but that one's actually really good too. You'd be pleasantly surprised. And then for the last one, which would be Freddy versus Jason, if you haven't gone out and see it, I suggest you go see it. I'm not going to go ahead and give you any spoilers. Why? Because this is no time for that. If it came out in 2003, I believe, and if you haven't seen it by now, I suggest you go see it. If you really are a horror fanatic, you go out and see it for yourself, and you guys give me or take your own opinions on it. I liked it. I found it funny. I found it like weird at some points, but it was cool. It was that satisfaction of a silent killer and a mouth killer. I say mouth because Freddie is a mouthpiece in its own. He's got jokes for days, and then somebody started like Jason. It's just like you don't know which way it's going. They both doing kills, and then they both end up killing, fighting each other. It's just, and it was pretty much Freddie's fault because he's the one that woke up Jason and kept telling him that he can never die. And look at what happened. He's not dead. But yeah, so the ending, it left it an open ending. So basically, they could make another part to it, or they could just branch out and make their own movies and pretty much not talk about Freddy versus Jason. Who knows what they're gonna do? So right now, I have made it a point to add some more people to my big three. So we already know the big three of my horror franchises are Michael Myers for Halloween, Jason for Friday the 13th, and Freddy for um, Nightmare on Elm Street films. So now we have two more to add to that because they're my own personal slasher gang, which is Ghostface for all the Scream movies franchise, and then now Terrifier, which has become one of my most my most watched franchise, and I can't wait for part four. And yes, I've spoken already abundance of times in some of my videos about Terrifier 3 and 2 and everything like that, and then a little bit of part one. Yes, that's part one is a little bit weaker than the other two, but honestly, they all tie in together. I believe they had introduced Art the Clown in All Hallows Eve. I'll be honest, I've never seen it. I've barely even saw part one when it first came out. Like I just kept watching bits and pieces, and then I just stopped watching it because of clowns. I had a fear of clowns. I really do. Like every time a clown was on screen, or Pennywise, my heart will race and everything like that. I've seen the original Pennywise, but I refuse to see it part one and chapter two. Why? Because I have a fear. I don't know why. It's just in me, bedded in me. But when it comes to Art the Clown, like I can sit there and watch him. If I'm gonna watch him, like if I could watch somebody that's dressed as him in person and act the way he acts, hell the fuck no, I can't. But um, to watch it in a movie, I can tolerate it, which is weird because if I heard Terrifier is gruesome, like more gruesome and worse than Pennywise. So I don't understand how I can just sit there and watch that and I can't watch Pennywise. You know, Bill Salazar does do a great Pennywise, and I've heard about it. But like I said, as much as I like him as an actor, I cannot sit there and watch Pennywise. Don't ask me why. I just cannot do it. Like I've already was able to watch all these trailers, so I've calmed down with that. But to sit there and watch the whole movie, I can't do it. What else? What else? What else? Oh yes. I'm doing this video a little early because I want to make sure that I'm coherent. I want to make sure that I'm here for you guys. I've told you like it was a possibility that I wasn't going to make this video today because I am going to go out today and I will not probably have the right state of mind. And this is something in my channel that I do not want to portray. You know, yes, you get to see me, raw me, but you guys don't need to go into details. If I don't put it out there, why should I have you guys see it? You know? I like the channel to be positive. Two things. So today I had to correct my nephew because I guess nowadays they portray these kids and everything on the screens and everything's portraying monkeys as black people. Yes, my family is multiracial, so I do have a lot of light skinned people in my family. And whenever I say monkey, for me, I feel like it's, you know, my niece, she likes to climb stuff. She's only one. She's literally only 1 year old. And you see her running around, climbing on stuff, climbing on things that she doesn't need to. So I call her a monkey. Yes, she's light skinned. There's nothing wrong with, you know, you be like chunky monkey or anything like that. You don't mean it by the way. So he made a comment and it's like, but she's not black. And I had to correct him, excuse me. I had to correct him and let him know. It has nothing to do with you being black or white. I call anybody monkey that I see climbing around. And she's only one. And for her to do a lot of climbing and a lot of things, she's very active for a 1 year old. And yes, I do call her a monkey. And I had to correct him and let him know, hey, you know, I don't take offense to it because I'm older and I know you didn't mean it in the wrong way. But if you go out there and you speak like that or correct somebody in that kind of way that you try to correct me, they don't know you from a hole in the wall. They will get offended. I don't get offended because to each his own. Whoever wants to go ahead and talk about my skin complexion or talk about how I look, all that kind of stuff, I am a positive person. So you can go ahead and insult me all you want and it's not going to hurt my feelings, you know? But somebody else that doesn't know you from a hole in the wall, doesn't know how innocent you said it, they won't tolerate it and they'll feel offended by it. So I had to let him know, like, I'm not upset, but I want to correct you so that way you won't make this mistake again. Because I definitely don't want him to get hurt or him to get insulted because he's only 9, going on 10, because he made that comment. So I had to let him know, hey, when I say monkey, it's because somebody's climbing. And that's what monkeys do. They like to climb. I don't mean it as in, oh, this person, you know, has to be black to do all this and that and be called a monkey. No, you have to explain to a young child, because he's still a child. You have to explain to him because the things that he sees nowadays out there, because we're from New York, so the things that New Yorkers like to talk about and like to joke about, you know, he's seeing all this, so he automatically gets it in his head that this is exactly how it's supposed to be. No, if somebody, especially in my complexion, is correcting you, you know, I'm family. I'd rather be the one to correct you than have them correct you because they might say it in a way that you might feel hurt or not understand. And I will go ahead and correct you in a way where I'm consoling you at the same time and also giving you, educating you that it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be black to be called a monkey. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to have dark skin or any type of other kind of skin to be called something that people nowadays portray as something else. So I had to make sure that he understood that, and I let him know, hey, I'm not offended because you can never offend me because I've been called way worse. If I've been called the N word because I caught somebody trying to steal and they was offended by it, and I looked them dead in the face and I said, yes, I'm an N-word, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you you're only mad and saying it because you got caught stealing and because you couldn't get out the store without the stuff. I'm not offended by it. You could go ahead and call me whatever you like. But the moment my nephew starts saying something like that, that's the moment when I have to correct him, because the fact of the matter is, you're not offending me because I could care less. But somebody outside that doesn't know you and only picks up on what you say, because always remember, sometimes your word is your bond. So you say something, it's gonna go and be the last impression or the first impression that somebody has of you. So if they feel offended, they will go ahead and say something. So I'd rather nip it in the bud now and explain it to him in a family way than somebody that's not family explain it to them. So yes, like I said, I do have light-skinned people in my family. I love my family, and I've never, ever, ever treated them different from my other family. Why? Because I see equal. I never see color. I never see color. I never see race. I've never seen orientation of who you are. I see you as a person, as a human being. And I will go ahead and tell you exactly how you make me feel as a person. But I will never tell you how you make the world feel, because I could care less what the world feels. If you impact my life in a positive or negative way, I will let you know. But as him being only 9, going on 10 this next week, which, by the way, he will be on my feed on the 19th, because that's his birthday. And I want to go ahead and do a little shirt of the day that day. And I want him on there because when I bring that shirt, he can tell me a little bit about some of the things that I have in the shirt and what his experiences are with them. Because I will ask him if he knows any of the people that I have on my shirt, and then tell me a little bit about them. You know, like you guys already met him on one of my previous shows, which was the review of Beetlejuice, and because he really wanted to sit down with me and do it, so I allowed him to do it. I normally don't want no kids on this channel because this is more for adults. But when there are some times when there are some that's just like okay for kids to watch, yeah, I'll put it for just kids, or kids can watch it too. But until then, all my stuff, I always put age restriction. You either have to be a preteen, or wait, older, like 16 and up, or you have to be 18, depending on what is on that content. I would never put something out there that says just for kids or kids could watch it and I say some profanity, or I do, like I said, I do smoke. So if I don't want these kids, like if they family lets them do this or lets them watch this, that's fine. But I'm not gonna go ahead and put it up there and say, oh, kids can watch this too. No, I'm I'm understanding. I may not have kids of my own, but I have my nieces and I have my nephews, and I would not have them sit there and watch some of the things that I put, because they have a vision of me and I want to keep it that way. They don't need to know my personal life. They just need to know what they see their aunt doing. Titi, she's always been there for me. Titi, she loves me. Titi doesn't do these things. That's how I want them to see it. If they go ahead when they get older and do these, that's on them. But just know they're not going to learn it from me. They'll probably come for advice or anything like that. If they do, I'll be happy to give it to them. But until then, I had to make that correction. Now, onto this YouTube video that I saw a little while ago. It literally made me cry. I'm not even gonna sit here and hold you on that. I was literally in tears because it was so beautiful and it's so hurtful at the same time. It was beautiful because this white cop, he felt like because he was young, he has just started the force, and he felt like his life didn't have a purpose besides work. So he found these 6 little girls, black girls, and they were going to go into the system. And there was pretty much, they was going to get separated if they go in the system, because who's going to adopt 6 girls? So he fought tooth and nail and adopt all those 6 black girls. So, he would go ahead, you know, and show them, stuff about their their race. Have read them, stories about these black characters. Have a lot of stuff, that would show them that he basically supports all this. That he doesn't see color or race or anything like that. That he's there for them. That he wants them to grow up happy and together and feel like they are part of everything, the community, all that. So growing up, the girls was getting bullied and teased because you're in a white town with just these six girls, and they're a different race than they are, and their father wasn't understanding. Well, the adoptive father, Cop, wasn't really understanding because they don't know. He doesn't know what they go through a day, on a day-to-day basis, or because of their complexion. So the oldest one, literally was gonna buy a ticket and leave, and he basically wasn't gonna see her again. One of his cop friends found her at the station and called the father. And the father looked at her and explained, "Oh, I need you to talk to me. Like, tell me what's going on. I may not understand completely what you're going through because obviously he's not black, but if you can help me understand, we can work together and make all of our lives better and work together to make everybody else around see, hey, we're just normal people like you. You don't have to go ahead and face this world alone. Just because you're a certain race doesn't mean that you have to be looked down upon." And that, honestly, until now, I'm still crying about that shit because it's beautiful. So, the older girl that ended up wanting to leave, she explained to him, and they started building their relationship up and everything like that. And, you know, after all these years, 20 some odd years later, um, he doesn't tell them anything, but he tries to prevent them from being hurt because he's always there for them, going to their recitals, going to their concerts, going to their, to whatever that they had. But his health started getting weaker. He started having uncontrollable coughs that he couldn't get rid of, all that kind of stuff. He started getting sick. And I think the girls, well, he realized that the girls picked up on it, but the girls wanted to do something special for him because he's always been their rock. He's always been there for them. One decided to write a book on their life. The other one became a cop, following his footsteps. There was a lot of the girls. They were doing really well for themselves. So what they did was they planned a party for him and honoring him and helping them achieve what nobody else would do: be together, be free from all the hate, show them love, and all that kind of stuff. Like, it came full circle because his older one became pregnant, and he got so happy and that he was going to become a grandfather. And she even told him, "Look, we don't know what you've been through raising us, and as a as a author, I would like to hear your story too, Dad. If you can you know can you write of all the years of raising us, how it was for you, so that way we can get it to know, and then the world can know that just because you're a certain race doesn't mean you can't show love to somebody." And I think that's like one of the best messages in this world that you can have. That's why, in part, this video that I saw, I saved it and I'm gonna show my nephew so he can see that stuff that he says can hurt somebody, and it's only because he's in this school and everything that he doesn't know these things. Because in school these kids act the way they act, and they feel that it's okay because they see, I guess, their adult parents do it, but or they see this on YouTube, or they see other people in this world doing it, so they feel like it's okay. So they spread all that negativity, and it comes back in full force because now my nephew is talking that way. So I had to correct him so he can learn that you have to be careful with what you say, because what you say is your word, is your bond, and if you make that impression of anybody, they're gonna look at you as a target instead of somebody that's a friend to them, you know? So this is just food for thought. I know I just jumped off topic, but I feel that I want to say this in this video so that way everybody can be aware. And I know my nephew, he will look at this video and he will understand the things that I mean. Um, there's only one instance that I was discriminated on when I was younger. I was only 7 years old, you know, and I don't talk about my egg donor as much, but there was this one time he was trying to get on the bus, and my mom, my egg donor, my mother, she was trying to get me on the bus too. And at that time, all the kids basically could go in. So because the bus driver was light skinned and he saw me and he saw my mother, my mom only had enough for her. So he didn't let me on the bus. So my mom left. My mom got off the bus. He literally told us to get off the bus. And he was like, "Oh, if you can afford it, don't get on this bus." And I'm like, wow. Like at that time, I didn't understand it. But growing up, I realized that that was something racist. And until I was at work, you know, last month, and this girl called me an N-word, um, I didn't really get that kind of experience. Did it hurt when she said it? No. I know my complexion, but I know I'm not an N-word because the N-word is the bottom feeders. N-words are somebody that don't respect, somebody that's trashed, somebody that just go ahead and disrespect you from time to time. That's not worth of being black. Do the N-word offend? It hurts sometimes to certain people that's sensitive. But for me, you can call me that all you want. But I know who I am. If you want to call me an N-word, that's on you. Like I said it before and I'll say it again. Words do not hurt. Actions do not hurt. But when you start spreading all this negativity and the kids start talking about it, that's when I get offended because it comes home. And if you cannot spread positivity on some honest stuff, stay the fuck home. Nobody wants your negativity. Nobody wants a bigot. If you cannot spread love to any race that's around you, then don't step out those walls. Don't step out that door. Because at the end of the day, if you open your mouth, you might catch the wrong person and they might do something way worse than just me speaking about it. But on some serious note, this is Debbie Cake signing off. You guys have a blessed day. And again, I do apologize for me rambling on. Take care.